think I kind of started liking doing this, So I'll just keep coming in now. We did it over the weekend as well, so it was pretty fun. Let's see, let me just go ahead, put in some of those polls, comments, and drop in to the chat. Just say hello. How was your weekend as well? That'll be fun. Let me actually go in and try putting in comment in the chat. If you can hear me clearly, go ahead with that as well, please. Yeah, so this one's gonna be fun because the week has got a lot of stuff going on right now. Some crazy stuff. I got a lot of you got Powell speaking tonight, pretty much in the afternoon today. So a few things to keep in mind. Let me also go in and try seeing if I can put in these polls. Alright. Yeah, what's gonna be worse? Let's see. It's gonna be Trump's new tariff threats. Is it just gonna be job data surprises that we get? Maybe that, because that's going to be a bad one as well if it does come in. We'll be talking about that at the jobless claims. Okay, let's get global retaliation or trade war. Or everyone has just got diamond hands at the moment, so you guys are just noise and staying focused long term. That could be it as well. There you go. So let's get that out. I think you guys should be able to see the poll as well. Perfect. Drop in your stocks, because then we can just go ahead and start. I came in a bit early, so I'm just gonna let the place settle up with a few people joining in, and then we can begin. Let's see. So just drop in, say hi. I would like to know who's here as well. So, hello Amalia, how's it going? Nice to see you. You're the first one here, so congratulations. How's your Sunday been? Hope it's going pretty well. So what we're just doing a bit so that everybody comes in, and then everyone can join in. Just come in, drop in, say hi. Let us know how your weekend went. Free Diddy, nice. Maybe that happens, bro. You never know. Alright, that's gonna be fun though if it does. I'd like to know what happens with that. But yeah, nice to know Amalia. Good. I was at the beach on the weekend, but that's about it. Nothing too fancy. I thought maybe we would see some EU retaliation against Trump, but nah, none of that happened. I saw some of the stuff that happened in Paris. That was pretty intense. I mean, what was going on there? I don't know, man. Crazy shit going on in the world, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, nice to see Jack Tyson in, Chipper Post in. Guys, you guys got to go ahead and subscribe. You got to come in for this live every day. I want to see you guys saying hi to me. And hope you guys had an amazing weekend. What did you guys do? I know Amalia was just good, but what else? What did you guys do? Oh, I went and saw Mission Impossible, by the way. That movie is so long, it doesn't seem to end. I thought it would be a 2-hour movie. It ended up being like a 2-hour, 50-minute movie. I was just so done with it at the end of it. Yeah, he was just flying out of planes, and I don't know what all was going on, but crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Thanks for the votes in, guys. As of now, everyone's looking at Trump's new tariff threats. Let's see what happens. Seems like that may be just it. Right? Okay. So it's going to be a pretty crazy week. You're going to get Fed Chair Powell speaking today. in the afternoon sometime. So Monday afternoon, he's going to come in, I think, at 1 p.m. I think that's when he comes in to speak. It's his regular speech and some of that stuff, but he's going to be speaking maybe about the fact that he went and met Trump. So let's see what happens there. You're going to see some retaliation from Europe as well. You might see a few other things going on. At the moment, I don't know what all's going to happen, but you got a lot of economic data as well. You got jobless claims, unemployment claims, you got non-farm payroll. So you have some of this crazy stuff going on at this moment, right? But yeah, so the plan is that I'm about 15 minutes early into this. We usually start at about 7:30 Eastern. So let's see. I got a few minutes of time, so you guys want to drop in with any of your questions, anything you want to know, get into the chat and hit it. Because then I'm gonna, once we start the show, then we're gonna know what all's happening, right? What's gonna happen with the market, what's gonna happen elsewhere. It's gonna be fun. I don't know, now I don't know which one of you is there. I don't know if Amalia's there, Jack Tyson's there, Chipper Post is there, one of you is there. Hi Keshav, how's it going? How's your, I'm guessing you're in India, so I'm guessing it's your, why are you awake, bro? Isn't it like 5 a.m.? Or are you in another part of the world? What part of the world are you in? Yeah, it's 5 a.m., man. Are you going to sleep or are you waking up? Damn, bruh. Nice to see you, man. Maybe if you do this every day, go ahead, subscribe. You can come in and say hi. I'll drop in a hi, and all the best for all of your studies, man. Hope you kill it. What are you studying for, though? You got exams coming up, or what is it? You studying on a bloody Monday morning, man. Chartered accountant, nice, bro. So you got all of your, do you still have that, what was it called? CPT and Inter CA and all of that, and CA finals? Isn't that what it is? I went all the way to do my finals, bro, but I just got so bored out of it. But yeah, good stuff, bro. When's your exam? Anyways, I mean, whenever it is, all the best, man. All the best. Kill it. So join in. I mean, you're a finance guy also then, right? Join into the channel. Tune in whenever. Once your exams are over, you can drop in, ask a few questions, right? Do you still have it as CA finals as 2 parts, or is it like just a single part? Like I remember even during the CFA days, it used to be 3 parts. You need a year and a half in between. You still have to do your, what was it called? Articleship for like 3 years or 4 years, I don't know. Something around it. 2 parts, yeah? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, some things just don't change, man. Some things just don't change. There you go. You're killing it, bro. Do you want to start your own practice, or what is it? Oh, only 2 years. Nice. Lucky you. I know you get paid pennies while doing it, so that's one of the things that I used to always think about, like, what am I even doing this for? Own practice, dude. Killing it. Good stuff, man. All the best, bro. All the best. So I hope you kill it, man. I hope you get it all done in your first attempt. I know a lot of people that keep trying this thing and never seem to be getting out of it. I used to know someone who used to try doing this for about 7 years. Maybe there are people longer as well, I mean. But keep going, man. Don't give up. Keep going. And whenever you get time, tune in. Come for our lives. You'll learn a little bit about the markets. You'll learn a little about the way we think and what happens here. I came in early today, so that's why I got time to like chill with you guys. But nice to see all of you guys, right? You got Keshav, you got Amalia, you got, who's the other 2? I can't remember their names. Actually, I should be able to see them in the chat, right? Yeah, Chipper Post and Jack Tyson. There you go. That's the guys. Anyway, so make sure, Keshav, that you're subscribing so you can join in once your exams are over. I don't want you doing this while your exams are there. But all the fucking best to you, man. Kill it. You're winning when you're waking up at 5 a.m. any which ways. So, cheers, bro. So let's see what else is happening, guys. Waymo's done 250,000 rides a week, 10 million total trips, 50 million miles. It's becoming Waymo's world, and we're all just riding in it. Yeah. Waymo's got a big partnership with Uber, but in some states they have their own app-based systems, so they've been doing it on their own as well. So be that as it may, I'm not really sure how much of that is going to work out in favor of Uber. But Waymo is going crazy, right? I mean, again, owned by Google, so you can't really write the demise of Google if it's pretty much leading in most fronts when it comes to AI. And I mean, they're leading in AI in terms of not just their language, but they're leading it also in terms of self-driving cars. They're leading it in Google Cloud. They're leading in, maybe not leading in Google Cloud, they're doing pretty well in Google Cloud. AWS is still leading in Google Cloud, in cloud business. They have that, they have DeepMind, they have a stake in Starship, in terms of SpaceX. They got their search business. That's not stopping. I mean, even though people are like a little Willy Wonka about it, but that is how it is nowadays, right? Yeah. Oh, that's nice. The new Bloomberg Odd Lots podcast is with JP Morgan's Michael Semblast. So he is by far maybe one of the best guys to look at and learn from. So it's fun. Watch out for him. Go ahead, introduce yourselves, guys. Just come and say hi, like the show, whatever. Go ahead and subscribe. We still got a few minutes before we go ahead, but just say hello. Let me know how your weekend was. How's everything going? Wherever the fuck you guys are. Anyway, so stock futures are currently back. What are we on now? I'm guessing we're on. Are we already on? Hey Jason, nice to see you, bro. Nice to see you. I mean, for me, it's Monday morning here already, so I don't stop, man. I don't stop. This is me relaxing, literally. Nice to see you, bro. How's your Sunday been? Nice to see you took time as well. I appreciate that, man. I just wanted to see what else is happening in the world, right? Stock futures opened, they're a bit lower, but I think they're gonna rip higher any which ways. Not too much of nonsense going on. But how was your weekend? Did you head out anywhere? Did you do anything, or you guys are just like chilling at home waiting for all the tariff retaliations to come through? Jason's an OG, man. He's been with us since pretty much the start now. He's going to be there with us all the way till the end as well. It's going to be fun though. Yeah. I know, man, Jason. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. There's one thing that happens at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, man. We come live. Hey Kevin, nice to see you, man. Another fun week in the market, absolutely, man. How was your weekend? Appreciate both of you coming in through the live. You know what? Let me actually try seeing if I can give you guys some of this link. Both of you and everybody else could also enjoy this. I don't know how I'm supposed to be giving you this. Like, let me actually just type it out in the chat. If you guys want to, It's like a podcast that I heard. It's pretty cool. It's Michael Semblast, who's basically JP Morgan's asset management. And sometimes I don't really go down these analyst things and start understanding, but I mean, he is a goat when it comes to that. And it's not about him being right or wrong, at least in this uh, this particular podcast that he had with Bloomberg. It's an audio podcast, so when you're driving down, you can just listen to it. It's not too much. 3 days back, that's when it came, so it's about an hour. So enjoy it. I mean, go see it. Maybe next time when we get live, we'll talk about it. So I want to put it out there. Let me just do that so that you guys can then. I don't think I can put in a link here, but let me try seeing if I can just put this in. And maybe if you guys see it there, yeah, just search for that same thing that I bloody typed there, and then you could get it. So how he says that AI could be the entire bet for the next century, just like the internet was for the first 25-30 years, right? Oh, it is like it's on odd lots. I mean, I pretty much go and listen to most of the odd lots. Joe Weisenthal is the one who's hosting that, so it's good stuff. I do listen to the All In Pod, but you know what? I think it's become a little too, my opinion. I mean, the thing is that there's so much of geopolitics all the time there, and so much of like, okay, this is right, that's wrong, this is right, that's wrong. It's become less for market stuff, man. And I got so much on my plate when it comes to trying to figure out, like, I'll tell you, right? And this is like, I got like 160 videos pending to finish that I got to finish in whatever time I have to. And whatever extra time I do get, I spend it on trying to learn on investors and their history, not just of how they made money, but on the bets that they took and the timing when they took it on. What was the market back then that they had to deal with, and things that they dealt with when they made those trades and those investments, all right? So I was actually thinking of making a video on Buffett's American Express purchases and See's Candy's purchases or something else. I think a lot of people would understand that. A lot of people know that, okay, he's made a lot of money through American Express, he's made a lot of money through all of these things. They don't know what the market conditions were, how he thought. And like, a lot of people don't realize that he was also sitting on cash for about 3 years. Even though he made a lot of money, right? He sat on cash for a long period of time before he went on and made some investments. Now, I mean, that requires guts. But again, coming back to the all-in thing, I've stopped, man. I used to watch it in the start. I don't watch it that much anymore. I watched the one that came out with the guys from Box, Aaron Levy, and the guy from Flexport, Ryan Peterson, right? I watched both of those purely because of the current scenario that's there. I like the way Box is being run, so I look at that. That's where I spend most of my time when it comes to Box. The other one that's there is related to Ryan Peterson. He was telling me about in Flexport. They basically do, I think they're the largest freight forwarding company in the world, or the back-end software system of the world. So they do a lot of that. So he's been able to be pretty, at least for me, he's able to tell me what's currently happening in terms of freight shipments, especially with all of this tariff news. Like when he was saying that if you don't pull these tariffs off of China, you're hammered, right? You're just gone. 80% drop in shipments at the port of LA and everything else. Like everybody knows all of those numbers, right? It was pretty bad. And then when the tariff reprieve happened and you gave them the 90 days, now you have a backlog of so much of container shipments. And each container could eventually reach $10,000 as well. And that's going back to like COVID type stuff that was happening, all right? So I like listening to guys that are more, they got their hands on the market through their businesses. So that's something that I like spending my time on. So yeah, that's there. But so the thing is this, right? They have like an hour or an hour and a half. And when I'm spending an hour and a half, if the only thing I'm getting is a few minutes of insight, I'll skip that. but I do go in at times, right? I mean, sometimes I do go in and listen to it. I like seeing, you know, who's coming on, and then if there is a guest. If it's just the four of them, sometimes I just skip it. I mean, I go into the chapters, look for what they're talking about, see a bit, and then bounce. If there's nothing, I go ahead, right? But that's one of the things that I just say. There's one other one that I just watched. Just maybe if you guys type in, you guys can see this as well. Let me actually see what Kevin's saying. Kevin's saying, yeah, the All-In is more entertainment than market stuff, but sometimes they have some, yeah, that's true. They have some helpful insight at times. I agree with you on that. The Compound is really good. Yeah, The Compound and Friends. I mean, Josh Brown is a GOAT. Michael Batnick, another GOAT. Barry Ritholtz. I mean, these guys are just killing it, right? I remember watching the past three of them. I think Neil Dutta from Renmac was there, so that was fun. There is one which a lot of people, I don't think, have watched, but if you guys want to watch it. This is thing with Jens Nordvik, right? Now, Jens Nordvik is a phenomenal currency dude, and he was talking about the US dollar. So watch him on The Compound and then go watch him on whatever else videos he has. Let me just make that short. And Swastik says, hello, good morning, how's it going? So coming back to Jens, right? Let me give you a brief on who this guy is, if for a lot of people that don't know about him. All right. Jens pretty much was working with Jim O'Neill, the guy who coined the term BRICS, BRICS, right? But Jens is such a data guy that he got a call from a man he does not name in January 2020 asking him about why is something happening in the market and why is no one reacting to it, and what is this COVID stuff that's happening outside. And he started breaking that down. Now, obviously, all of us know who that hedge fund manager was. That was Bill Ackman, right? And you know what? If Bill Ackman's calling someone for not information, but for deduction of information, you know the guy's good. Secondly, the Imperial College in London, and you know, all of these COVID trackers that we were looking at when COVID was at its prime, right? This like crazy stuff that was going on during COVID. The COVID tracker that everybody was looking at and checking out, and you know, like, oh my God, so many people dying, this is where it's spreading, that's what's happening. Jens was the guy that made it. He's a finance dude, but he made it, the COVID tracker, right? So he's a beast. And when he came on Compound, I would say that was one of the most insightful and not very popular shows, but it was worth it, absolutely. Have I heard of Amit is Investing? Nobody. I have not heard of that, but maybe I can go check it out. Maybe I'll follow him. Let me subscribe to him. Oh, nice. Pretty good. Let me go check that out. I mean, it'll be pretty fun. All right. Cool. Yeah, followed him on Twitter, so that should be fun. Yeah, so that's that. And then I've been looking at as a market open, a close every day, and a bunch more streams daily. So that's what I was actually thinking about, you know, over the weekend. I was talking to a couple of guys and they were like, why don't you start doing one during market open? And I was like, you know what, there's so much noise during market open. There's so many people doing this and no one's been able to do this. Like, from an aspect where you take 2 steps back, sit on your sofa and watch something where now you're like, because when you have a market open, yeah, okay, maybe I'll get a lot more eyeballs and all of that, but that's not my game, right? I mean, I'm not interested here in trying to get the largest fishing net thrown into the sea. My aim is to try breaking things down a little bit more than just coming out and being like, oh, here's tariffs, this is what's happening, and this is the news, this is the news. I don't want to be like a ticker tape, just keep giving information. That's stupid. In my story, right? But I do see a lot of my viewers when I go down to the analytics on YouTube who tune in largely around 9 a.m. Eastern, so that's when market opens. So maybe let's do something. Let's see, what do you guys think? Maybe we can do something on a weekday or on a few weekdays during market open. That might be pretty cool as well. We can do that. Maybe that might help. But I mean, for me, I like this. Maybe we can do this as well as that. Who knows? Let's see. You guys let me know in the comments if you guys wanna, if it's easier for you guys to come, let's say at about 9 a.m. Eastern. If that works for you guys, maybe we'll do that as well. All right, that'll be fun. So if everyone's cool with that, why not? I mean, I can make time. I can come at that time as well. That's okay. This works for me because I was anyways going to come here and work and do my stuff. So just come and drop in, say a few things. Like some of the stuff on the weekend, what I try doing is more just, like last weekend we had shit that was going on, especially with on Friday being told, okay, we have EU tariffs, okay, we have Apple tariffs, all of those tariffs. And then on Sunday we were like, no. Maybe not, all of that. Let me see. Kevin says, give him a view tomorrow and see how he goes through it and see if you like it. He starts at 8:45 a.m. and you can decide to do something similar if you want. Fair enough, bro. Let's do that. Let me actually go ahead, see what's happening with him. Let me see if it works out. For me, this works at the moment. I want to know for you guys, does that timing work or does this timing work? I mean, what's more important is for me to know what you guys are more better off with. For me, I'm okay. I can do this and that, right? But I don't want to end up putting in like goddamn 5 hours a day into YouTube, because then I'm getting away from the normal stuff that I do in markets, right? And I'm not really a big trader, so I have bigger positions, but I'm not really a big huge trader. If you do see my portfolio for the past 2 years though, there is a sizable amount of trading. I wouldn't say no. I do trade leaps heavily, but I do go out far in the future. I don't trade 3-month leaps, 6-month leaps. I end up trading maybe like a year out, a year and a half, 2 years out. I buy myself a lot of time, so there is a swing. Even if it doesn't work in my favor, that returns back, right? So that's something that I look for. What is this? Is something that happened in the US today? I knew something happened in Paris and France. I mean, in France, it was just like, I saw some of those videos. It's just mayhem out there. I don't know why that's happening and what it is and all of that, but it just seems like there's like, anarchy on the streets. I don't know what the whole story out there is, but it is what it is. Let me see. What else is happening in this world? Oh yeah, Jamie Dimon. I watched that interview as well of Jamie Dimon. It was like pretty bearish on the bond market, but he's been bearish on the bond market, I don't know, since maybe the bond market started. That's how bearish he's been. Let me go in and see what's happening with the poll. Oh, we got 7 votes. Most people still think it's going to be Trump's new tariff threats. Yes. So I was watching this interview with Kevin Hassett, and Kevin Hassett was saying that most likely there will be a call between, again, maybe not, a call between President Xi and Trump, and they would most likely speak about. So the only issue they have right now is that, those rare earth minerals that need to be sent to America, because they need to be sent to America, what's happening is you need some license in China to be able to sell it in America. And there's been a slow rolling of licenses, so China's just playing its slow tactics. That's going to get sorted out. So they're going to go back to the drawing board of trying to get that deal done. One of the things that I was actually thinking about yesterday, and I was talking to another friend of mine, and I was telling him that, you know what, the more Trump faces opposition within, from the Supreme Court, from the courts, from his own people when it comes to these trades and tariffs, the faster he's going to want to get the trade deals done. Now you can tell me, right, is that bullish or bearish? If his aim is to get more trade deals done faster, or if he's pushed to the wall to get more trade deals done faster, wouldn't that be, more bullish? Like, in my eyes, that is more bullish. That means the S&P goes higher, right? Because most of these countries are going to try waiting out to see what the courts say. The courts are eventually going to side with Trump one way or the other, because they know that even if they don't, he's got other means, right? He's got 232, he's got 303, He's got one something, right? Whatever. And he's going to find his way to put these tariffs. And that's not rocket science any which ways. But wouldn't that force his hand to possibly keep getting his US trade representatives, Lutnick as well as Jameson Greer, to get more of these trade deals done faster before he actually ends up in a scenario where the court and everybody else around him is like, hey, you know what, you can't do this anymore. Because then the other countries have negotiating power and leverage, which is why I think China is slow rolling their licenses as well. So that being said, that for me is bullish, because now he's pushed to the wall to try doing something which he might not have wanted to do, but to my best guess, it's his easiest way out. He's going to make deals faster with Vietnam, with Japan, with India, with maybe even China, maybe even the EU, right? I mean, I think the last deal he might get done is with the EU, maybe not China, because at the end of the day, it's one phone call, and if President Xi decides to say, okay, let's get this thing done, his people are going to be agreeing to it. It's going to get done, right? It's not like the EU where you have like some 20 countries, 30 countries that need to talk to each other before they can make a call and any of that. So, and again, you can't have Chinese tariffs at 30% and European Union tariffs at 50%. So, never going to happen, right? It would be really weird if it did happen, but it would just be. Also, I have, wait, Kevin says, what's your X Twitter? Let me actually see what the thing is. It's Signal Sentiment itself, right? You should be able to see it as, I opened it up lately, man. I never used to spend too much time on Twitter. I just put it up there so I can put in the links here. I hardly end up going on Twitter, but it's @Signal Sentiment. So SIGNAL SENTIMENT, same thing. Yep. So that's the thing. I still think it's bullish for markets. Most likely, if we do get some form of pullback this week or the next, I am going to start building some long options trades. That's my plan. I'm looking at a few trades which are related to, some of these beaten down stocks. Not beaten down in general, but beaten down in terms of turnarounds. I like betting on some turnarounds. The last time I bet on turnarounds was when Netflix was in 2022 lower at 230, 240 US dollars. I did sell out early though. I sold out in the 800s, 900s. So it's not like I played it all the way till the 1200s. The other one that I did turn around and play was Meta, when the whole Metaverse thing happened. That was a good one. Spotify, when Spotify came crumbling down all the way up to like, now that I think about it, right? If you think about it, it's like Spotify is like, it's like the Netflix of music. So to a large extent, you're just going to be looking in and listening to music there. You don't have too many options to do anything out there. But then again, yeah, so cutting back to the chase, Spotify was at like 89 or 90 when I picked it up. Again, I sold it too fucking early in the 400s or the 380s or 400s, something there, right? I am actually like, now, against popular opinion, I am actually thinking that possibly Nike and Starbucks, right, could just be a turnaround. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to have Meta type returns or Spotify type returns or any of that, but do I think they got sold off a lot? Maybe, yes. More Nike. I mean, they are being run by phenomenal guys. Elliot Hill at Nike is killing it in terms of his pedigree. The other guy was Brian Nickel, who came from Chipotle, who's now at Starbucks. I don't think these guys are going to want to spoil their cred. So few things that I'm seeing happen within Starbucks itself, within Nike itself. So one of the things, right, especially with Nike, is that it was $150, $170 stock, and everybody's like, oh, it's the end of Nike because On is going to take over, Hoka's going to take over, all of that's going to take over. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they're expensive shoes. Everybody's not going to be buying that only, right? Plus, Nike's issue was that they were not in your face everywhere, especially because they stopped retail shipments. They weren't selling on Amazon anymore. They weren't doing any of their other stuff. They were just on the same brand of Air Jordans and all the other sneakers that, they just bet that everybody was going to buy and resell to other people. Anyways, coming back to the scenario, what I do believe is that, especially with Elliot Hill, one of the things that he's done is he's gotten a lot more into the Foot Lockers of the world and all the other retailing guys into the world. One. Two, they're now selling on Amazon, and Amazon's going to start building inventory, right? That's happened post 2019 for the first time now. And third is he's increasing prices by 5 to 10%. He's got Caitlin Clark on board. Luka Doncic is there. So there's few things that are, for me, looking more bullish than bearish for Nike. Do I think they can get back to the 150, 160 levels? Maybe not, but maybe 120 in 2 years. That's not bad if you can get the options. I think the latest option expiry is somewhere around 17 December 2027. So that's a long time away, right? But maybe put in some small money and just see what happens. Like, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm not yet done it. So it's just my view at this moment. So don't go ahead and buy something because I'm saying so. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking at Starbucks, right? I was actually looking at Disney as well because I do believe that, their theme park business is doing well. Their movies are doing well. I went to see Mission Impossible yesterday. Jesus Christ, that movie is so long. But I could see crowds go crazy for Lilo and Stitch, right? And the Avengers are coming, all of that's coming, all of that other nonsense is there that's going to come eventually. I think maybe even Disney does well, right? A lot of people keep thinking that they've turned woke and all of that. Yeah, fair enough. That's what they said about Netflix as well, and look at what's happened to Netflix, right? So maybe this happens. Bob Iger's, my belief, not going to want to leave on a lower share price or on a low. He's going to want to go out kicking. Anyway, so those are the two. The other one I was looking at was Coupang, South Korean based e-commerce company. They've been breaking out even on charts at about $28, highs of 69. Maybe. Because my belief is if we're going to be at 7,000 or around those levels, right, we're going to be pretty much there by next year end. So if you're there by next year end, you're looking at something which is a lot. Some of these stocks, high beta ones, are going to go crazy. Like I already own Affirm, I own Lemonade, some bit of Lemonade. I think their AI business is great. Now these are all 5-year holdings. So I'm 5-10 years, I don't know, maybe longer. Who knows, right? But I'm not playing the small game in those positions. Now that's my long-term portfolio. I have a position in a fintech bank called New Bank as well, NU, right? Some of these things I keep looking at just to see how the growth happens and what happens there. And that's something that I'm currently looking at. So Nike and Starbucks are something that I keep wondering. So I haven't yet put my money into it because I'm still trying to see what are the levels that can get pulled for Nike and Starbucks. But I do believe that they have a lot of risk that's already discounted on them. They have a lot of reward that is not discounted on them. That's the way I think of things. Maybe not the way to think of things, but that's the way I think of things. All right. Kevin saying new F1 movie. I haven't, man. How is it though? Is it already out? I don't even know. I know Brad Pitt's in it, but I don't even know when is it coming out. Is it already out? I'm not sure. Let me know if it's already out. Not yet. Comes out later this month. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be watching that. That should be fun. Yeah, but Mission Impossible was just like, it was impossible for literally me to just sit through it, man. I just got on my phone after like 2.5 hours. It just became like so much of, for me, it was an overdose of action. Like, it was just like, what all is happening here, guys? Like, are we really trying to get the AI bandwagon even in movies now? But yeah, anyways, so that's that. Let me actually go ahead and see if I can find this link for this video that I was watching the other day. It's called Margin of Safety. It's got Seth Klarman on it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if I do get it here, I could maybe share it with you guys. It's a long video, but yeah, let me go see if I can find it. Margin of Safety. Yeah, there you go. It's called the Active Investors Magazine. They were the ones that did it. You know what? 28,000 views. They've been there for 3 months. Hardly anyone knows about it, so you guys will pretty much be knowing everything about it when you see it. Let me see if I can actually send a link, if that helps. You guys get the link? Oh, there you do. You do. I could just send you links from now on. Fabulous. Yeah, I'm pretty new to this YouTube stuff, especially when it comes to figuring out some of these things. But yeah, go ahead, watch this if you guys want to, if it interests you. It's something that I watched. Not bad, especially to see a lot of these legends of investing sticking through this from more of a scenario where they're not just investors, but the way they think, man, that's the real play. You know, it's not the intellectual game that you have to play to win. It is the emotional game that you have to play to win. How do you deal with a drawdown? How do you deal with a profit? That's where the difference between men and boys comes in. Right? That's what makes you a legend versus any other investor. Is, can you stomach losses? Can you stomach profits? And how do you deal with that? Yes, so let's go see if there's anything else that's been happening in this world. I don't know why I'm getting all of these Waymos, man, everywhere. I just keep seeing Waymos everywhere now. But yeah, we've done 10 million total trips, 50 million miles. I don't know. I think these guys are going to kill it. I'm not sure if Tesla is going to be able to take that market share away from Waymo. I think Waymo has such a far advantage that they might just win this one against Elon. But you know what? Elon's Elon, guys. You never know what he comes up with, right? So that's that. What's the futures at? I don't remember checking what the futures is. I remember it being down maybe like 50, 60, but that's peanuts. Yeah, 66. That's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Anyways, the good part is we have 5 days of trading rather than just 4 as of last week. So because I just live and breathe through this, it's fun for me. Cool. Let's see what else is happening. It's a pretty hot day today. I don't know. Doesn't seem that great. Did you guys do anything fun on the weekend or at home itself? It was actually a pretty boring weekend for me, actually, because there was no, I mean, when it comes to markets, I'm saying there was nothing really too insane. So I was pretty much outside and doing my stuff. I came in live yesterday just to like come and say hi, see what's going on. And that's about it. Nothing too fancy. Okay, Trump said if the courts rule against us on tariffs, other countries can hold our nation hostage with anti-American tariffs, which he wants could lead to the economic ruin of the United States. Okay. We've been through this back and forth. Okay. Yeah, so Powell speaking today. He's going to speak at the Federal Reserve. I think they have a conference or something. It's not there's no meeting, but he's going to give a speech at the OPEC now. There's apparently been some rumors of him quitting, but that shit's not going to happen. And there's been some reporting about the fact as to, yes, they did meet. They both put they being President Trump and Federal Reserve Chair Powell, they both came together in a room. They had maybe 2 things to say to each other. and they went out with their own stories that Powell's going to wait and Trump doesn't want him to wait. So that's that. I think it's the only one that he's not going to be able to fire, not going to be able to coerce, not going to be able to force to reduce rates. And in a way, I would say that is one good thing that can happen. Because trust me, if the reason we're cutting rates, not just 25 basis points, but way lower, right, is because we want to propel the economy, we're already in a shitty position. So we don't want to go down that shitty position. We're okay where we are and let it continue the way it is. Things are slowing, but we don't want it to slow down so much that we just have lower rates, right? But here's a fascinating thing. Think about something where in case the 10-year yield starts going lower, what are the companies that can start doing well, excluding banks, right? Something to look for maybe when you guys are like just chilling. Think about like mortgage refinancing companies. Maybe next live we'll talk about it. There are a few companies that do a lot of mortgage refinancing. That might be an interesting place to go in and study something, because on a lower 10-year bond yield you might have home sales improving, you might have things like lower refinancing rates. So there are few companies that can do pretty well, that could basically have a mortgage refinancing boom and make money even on a lower 10-year bond yield. And that could be bullish for the particular stocks, not necessarily all stocks, but some stocks. I'm looking at one of them. Maybe once I finish studying them properly, I'll share it with you guys as well. It's not simple to find out, but go ahead, try seeing if you guys can maybe study about a few of those. Let me know what you think about. Maybe we'll do it in tomorrow's live. Yeah, maybe. Let's see what else is happening. So PSG went crazy. I saw that match. That was like 5-0. And crazy stuff, man. What a game, though, in all seriousness. I don't think we have any crazy earnings coming. I think Nike comes towards the end of the month, but nothing in between. Yeah, I mean, it's just been boring, man. Secretary Lutnick says tariffs are not going away. Okay, cool. China is holding back products essential to industrial supply chain. Believes Trump will talk to China's Xi very soon. Yeah, and I think they're going to speak maybe this week or next week. And you know what? As much as I've been thinking about it, there is no bad outcome from both of them talking. So you are going to see markets rally on that. So that's that. I think maybe June, July could be a little choppy, but I think as we start moving towards post that, August, September, October, you can start seeing bullish moves. November, December could again be choppy. I'm just giving you my thought process because there's a lot of noise that will happen now next month all the way up till July, where you can see things go up, go down. Volatility could be at its high, but other than that, I mean, nothing crazy. So United States Secretary Bessent said in CBS, United States will never default on its debt. Yeah, I heard that. I was watching that video about 30 minutes before I went live as well. You know what? I'll tell you one thing, right? If it weren't for Scott Bessent in the White House, markets would be way lower than where they are. Let me just put that out there. That's just a mark of appreciation of the guy. A lot of people don't know that Scott Bessent was actually working with George Soros and Stan Druckenmiller at Quantum. And Quantum itself, Soros Management Fund. And it was his idea to short the pound. Druckenmiller made the trade. Druckenmiller also went and met Soros about the trade, and Soros was the one who told him that if you're so powerful if the trade is so powerful, why are you only making a 10% of the book? You should go in 10 times more. That's how they made the billion, 2 billion pounds, whatever the hell they made. But it was Scott Besant's idea, so he knows what he's doing. He's not some. A lot of people don't know that he was working with George Soros. So that is what it is. And I couldn't really care. I mean, a lot of people, I've heard so many people when I've been taking George Soros's name, like, tell me, oh, what he's doing and all of that. I'm like, dude, I'm here for financial markets, man. The guy killed it in the markets. I'm learning from him about markets. I don't care about his Open Society Foundation and all of that other stuff that's going on. I don't even know what's going on, so I don't waste my time even thinking about those things. It's just not my area, man. I just stay away from all of those things. I don't like going down those roads, so I don't necessarily need to have an opinion about it. Hey, what happened to the Knicks, though, by the way? Aren't they playing today? Oh, damn. So Indiana wins 4-2. Oh, Knicks lost. Okay. Damn. I thought they would go in, man. I remember last year when I was in New York, Jalen Brunson was playing. Even now he was playing, though, but I could see potential in the Knicks doing well this year, man. They did. I mean, let's not take that away from them. They're better off than where they were, but it's been pretty cool to see the Knicks get to where they have. I wish that they could have beaten Indiana and go ahead. That would have been fun. But my stock market mind is built in such a way that now that I looked at the Knicks, my first thing that went in was to look at Madison Square Garden's charts and see what happens there. So now you know why I'm here on a Sunday, right, Kevin and Jason? Let's see. Chinese Defense Ministry says US is accustomed to using the Shangri-La dialogue to create disputes, sow discord and seek selfish interests. Damn. The United States is the biggest threat to regional peace and stability. You know what, if you don't know who's saying to whom, you can say it to either. I think at this stage the Chinese and Americans are saying the same thing, we just have different spokespersons talking on either side. So, but that's cool, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we just want peace, harmony, no amount of trade negotiations and all of that to like eventually end and just get this over and done with, man. But how many votes do we have already? Let's see. Let's go in and see. So we got 8 votes already, and we are hitting. So the biggest risk or opportunity for markets this week is going to be Trump's new tariff threats. Half of the people believe that that's going to be the case, right? So yeah, that's going to be fun. Maybe, you know what, let me also go in and put in this video. I'm not sure if all of you have gone in and seen the Charlie Munger video that I made, but if you haven't, go ahead and see that. Let me try seeing if I can put that link also here, but if I can't, then just go ahead, look at it. It's not too long, it's just 20 minutes. Let me see if I can put it here. Let's see. Do you guys get it? Oh yeah, there you go. So that's a Charlie Munger 20 minutes video. This talks about life and a few things that pretty much help you think in a different way, at least in a way that he was thinking of. I like keeping two sides of my brain, right? One side being related to the longer term investing, where I want to learn from these guys, keep learning, and the other side of it, which is related to some of these leap positions or any of these 2-year positions or a single year positions that I have. I don't usually make trades based on a 3-month, 6-month or a 2-month scenario. I do react to it in terms of if I have a 1-year position or a 1.5-year position, I might react in 3 months on it. If there is a move that happens higher or any of that kind of a scenario that happens, I will react to my position. I don't buy positions for a few months. Right, let me get on. NR says he ain't stopping. Nice to see you again, bro. He ain't stopping. Steel and aluminum tariffs are now in effect. Might be. Oh, I think it goes in on June 4th. I don't think it's in effect yet, but what I do believe is that it is going to go into effect. But you know what? Till the time, it's just, I think he knows that he can't go against countries anymore because his courts are now going to start having more gunpowder against him. So he's going sectoral. Might be another taco trade, but how much more uncertainty can the market and GDP take? Let me actually take the other side of it. So, would it be another taco trade? Maybe not. I think he'll go through with the steel and aluminium. I actually do believe he is going to go through with it. Uncertainty, the market and GDP can take. I don't think this is going to be a market effect movement. We already had a 25%. And anyone that, I'm not sure how many steel companies in this world or people or whatever big companies in this world import steel into America, we're going to be paying the 25%, in all honesty. So if 25 has become 50, I don't see it as too much of a risk, right? It's like this, right? It's this concept where the Chinese tariffs were at 145. Now let me tell you, what if the 145 became 175? Okay, yeah, the numbers change. Who was even paying that? So, not going to happen, in my opinion, to be a market effect. I think once he got asked that question about Trump always chickens out on his by the CNBC reporter in the White House, in the Oval Office, I think that's what made him say, because he kept saying, oh, that's a nasty question and all of that. That basically triggered him into saying, you know what, let me actually put this in and keep it now. I think he's going to do it. He might just keep it. He might drop it down to 25 a month or 2 months later, once all the dust settles in this world. He's going to keep some tariffs, that I'm sure about. I think he's going to keep a global minimum of 10%. On some countries, maybe 15 or 20. Maybe bring down China's 30 to 15. He's going to keep China higher than most other countries. That's the plan. Maybe bring down Europe also to the 10-15%. Maybe keep China at 25, right? Can we all live with that? 100% we can, right? Can the markets live with that? Yes. The Atlanta Fed GDP, right? Because of the import data. Like, think about it. Last quarter's GDP data, where you were looking at a negative 2.5, 2.8%. I remember seeing the Atlanta Fed GDP data, which came out a few days back when they adjusted it. And I think it was over 3%, right? How much is it? Yeah, fucking 3.8% on the Atlanta Fed GDP now. 3.8% growth for Q2. All right. And how many days do we have left? 28 days left for this month to end. So maybe even if you revise it down to 2.5, 2.8%, that's still a very good number if you think about it. So I don't really think GDP is going to get that much of a hit. My bet is this year might be flat. You might see 6,200, 6,300, maybe a 4-5% return from a flat year. I believe next year we're seeing 7,000 on the S&P 500. And maybe the year after that, you're going to see another bullish year. So position yourself for next year's midterm elections and the next year post the midterm elections the year after that. I actually do believe we're going to have a very strong market. And the reason being that I do believe that a lot of people have chickened out. Investors have chickened out from investing. Retail have put in money and all of that, and they might even sell, who knows, right? But what I'm trying to see here is that if we have this year a flat S&P 500, right, from an all-time high perspective, we come back lower and now we're at this level, we go up about 5 or 7%, single digit returns, right? So we're at 62, 6,300. I don't see that as a bad scenario, but I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people are going to stay away from investing if they don't see another 15% year this year, right? They're going to come back next year and the year after that when they start seeing that markets are now risen all the way to 7,000, and that's going to push 7,000 all the way to maybe 7,500, 8,000 in 2027. So keep that in mind, because very likely that as a scenario, this year could be a flat year. But remember, in flat years, you get the opportunities to find these stocks that could be booming in the 2 years post when you have that bull market, right? Again, this is my view. This is not my financial advice to people trying to say buy in today and don't buy in today or buy tomorrow or whatever, right? Do what you have to. This is my belief that 2026 and 2027 are going to be big years for the stock market. 2025, the year that we're in, as of now, we're 5% away, 4% away from an all-time high. But I do think there is upside this year for another 3, 5%, 7%. Maybe I'm proven wrong and it goes higher. But I would be a buyer of every 3 to 5% dip on the S&P 500. I do believe this year is a year of volatility. So don't take that away from this concept that I don't believe we can go lower. We can't. Do I see 4,800 coming back on the S&P 500? I would be very, very surprised if that happens. All right, let me get the next question. Now he doesn't want to chicken out lol. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. See, I mean, at the end of the day, it's his name, right, that matters to him. It's the way people look up to what he's saying. The way, for him, his image matters everything, right? So look at it from that perspective. Don't look at it from these headlines and all of that, right? It's the easiest thing for him to put 25 to 50 on steel and tariffs. I mean, steel and aluminum. And it goes on June 4th. He's not going to chicken out. He's going to do it because it's just simpler for him to do it. I mean, it's not rocket science. All right. Let me get it. Is there more of an upside opportunity or downside risk for financial year 2025? I do believe so. I mean, if you look at the year that we've already been through with the way we fell 19-20%, and now we're back up 18-19%, we're back to whatever regions we've reached. We're about 4%, 5% away from an all-time high, right? I still do believe we will hit a new all-time high this year, but I don't think we will hit an all-time high and go up 15% from there, right? So I don't think 7,000 on the S&P 500 will come this year, but I do believe that if 7,000 does come, that would be phenomenal. But I am not of the belief. If I had to put my money on something, I don't think we would see 7,000 this year. I think 7,000 next year is very likely, and the year after that even 8,000, right? And it's simpler, right? I mean, when the higher you go, 10%, 15%, on a 13-14% return, you can get there. A lot of people keep thinking the average S&P return is about 9% per year. But you know what? When you look at averages, remember, you've had down years with negative 15, 20%. And in bull markets, usually bull market years are 15% plus, mostly 20%. So when you're already 20% higher, you are going to be, I mean, you are going to see better markets ahead, not worse. So that is something that I'm looking at. I do see upside opportunity for the year, but I believe that the year would have a lot more volatility compared to other years. Not that we have not seen volatility already, but in the previous years. So there will be volatility that happens. You will see 3%, 5% moves either on the upside or on the downside. If you see a 5% move on the upside, you're going to be at all-time highs. If you see a 3 to 5% lower move, you are going to be maybe 7-8% away from an all-time high. So my bet, volatility stays, markets will continue going up. 2026, 2027 could be phenomenal years. So invest with that mindset, invest with that frame of mind, it'll be phenomenal. Let me see, we're looking at another 3 years of this uncertainty, or you think the tariffs will be negotiated and implemented by the end of this year? So those are two questions, but I'll tell you what my belief is. I think the whole tariff story is going to end by July. My bet. I don't think this nonsense is going to go on till the end of the year. It cannot. There is no reason for it to. What are you going to negotiate for an entire year, right? If he's able to negotiate with the 4-5 largest countries, which I already believe he's going to be, right? I think they're spending their time on these China tariffs and all these other things and figuring that out. The Japan deal, the Vietnam deal, the Indian deal, the Indonesian deal, all of these are going to happen. I'm pretty certain about that. That's going to happen before July. The Chinese tariff deadline is August. So they're going to work on that. They're going to get something out there. If the Chinese and the Americans could come to an agreement of even getting to a 145 to 30 and whatever else to that 10% number, whatever China was at, 125 I think to 10. No reason why they don't come to the table together and put in a 20-25%. And remember, a 20-25% tariff is on a cost of the product. It's not on the $1,000 iPhone that now becomes $3,000, or a $1,000 iPhone that becomes 1,250, 13. It's on the goddamn cost of the product. And there are 1,000 ways these companies are going to find out to do stuff to reduce the price of the product, reduce the cost of the product, and keep fiddling around before they send all of this. So it's not really going to be the end of the world. And the more people are bearish, the more bullish you should be, right? That is something that, always remember that. Again, coming back to the last part is 3 years of this uncertainty. I don't think so, man. You know what? What is he going to do for 3 years talking about tariffs? It's just illogical to keep doing that. So I don't believe this is going to go on for even the next 3 months. This stuff's going to end very soon. Question is, how worse does it get in the 3 months? Do we get way higher in the rates of tariffs, or do we get way lower in the rates of tariffs? If it gets way lower, markets are going to rally. If you get way higher, then that's going to create some form of uncertainty and then go higher. But you know what? Even if he comes out and says, okay, now the tariffs are, okay, here's the wrench that's going to come, you can throw into the stock market. If he comes out and says, hey, you know what, the chart that I held up on April 2nd, I like those numbers, everyone's going back to those numbers. Yeah, then we're screwed, right? Sorry about the 7,000, sorry about the 8,000, we're going to be at 4,000. And it might just be the biggest buying opportunity in the world that you've ever seen. I don't think that's happening. One. And neither is my money positioned, and I'm biased because neither is my money positioned on the concept that this is going to happen. So what I would say is everything's going to get sorted out. These guys are going to work their stuff out. It's going to be a scenario where eventually they're just going to come in and get their trade deals done, put it out in the market. Market's going to adjust to these tariff rates. Companies are going to adjust to it because companies already know what these tariff rates are at this moment. They're dealing with higher tariff rates in the start. Now it's lower, so it's a simpler problem to deal with for companies. And they're just going to be pretty... It would be tough for me to believe that we would see lower prices, lower S&P 500 number, like losing a 5 handle on the S&P 500. I don't think that's happening. Not at these tariff rates. And especially I'm saying the Supreme Court thing that's happening, the court thing that's happening is a very, very bullish thing that's happening. People have it all goddamn inverted with more uncertainty. I'm like, it's not uncertainty. It's letting Trump know that he doesn't have a leash that he can pull whenever he wants on the whole global economy. And that is a bullish scenario. Understand that. That's not a bearish scenario. Yeah, let me just get this one. Will the bond yields keep rising even after the tariffs are resolved? So the bond yields rising is not a bad phenomenon, right? Do I believe the bond yields will stay within the same price range? If the bond yields stay below 5% for the year can be decent. You can get to a 64, 6,500, 6,300 on the S&P. If you start breaking the 5% number, right, all bets are off for all of your rallies and everything else that you dreamed of. So the bond yield does matter to a very large extent. The bond yield is the barometer to an equity market rally at this given stage. Inflation is not going to pick up because of these tariff rates. You might have a bump on a quarterly basis for some numbers that come and something that happens here and there, but it's not going to be so much that it's going to affect the market. That being said, till the time I don't see bond yields going above 5%, it's not really worrying. If the bond yield goes to 5% in the next 1 year slowly, that's okay. That's fine. We don't want 4.5 to become 5% in 2 months or in a month. That is a problem. It is the velocity with which the bond yield moves that can affect us. It is not the rate by itself, because you have an inflation of 2%. You used to have an inflation of literally zero pre-COVID. Now you have an inflation of 2%. So keep in mind, when you have an inflation of 2.5, 3%, the real interest rate yield is about 2%. That's how you're getting a 5% bond yield, 4.75 on the bond yield. Can the bond yields correct? My bet is the administration's main aim is to reduce the rate on the 10-year bond yield. A reduction in the 10-year bond yield is going to cause stock prices to go higher, people to refinance their mortgages. It is going to revitalize the housing sector. The housing sector in America is screwed, absolutely screwed. Prices are too high, no one's buying, right? I read an article the other day saying that the summer home rental prices in the Hamptons are down by 30%. So think about it, right? A lower 10-year bond yield is now going to push people to buy homes because now they can get a better mortgage, lower mortgage payments. It's going to make them refinance their current mortgage rates. That gives them more spending power because if you were paying a $1,500 per month mortgage payment, you might be paying a $1,300 on a lower interest rate. So you have a $200 extra to spend. Where's that going to go? Maybe Chipotle, maybe Starbucks, maybe Nike shoes, who knows? Anyways, that's one. You're going to start seeing construction pick up. You're going to start seeing home sales improve. You're going to start seeing jobs improve. Number of jobs within construction improve. You're going to start seeing job openings reduce, unemployment reduce because more people are going to be working. All right. And that is bullish for the economy. I don't see it as bearish for the economy. That's my bet on what happens. I'm not saying it is going to happen that way, but that's my bet. But that's how it looks like. Anyways, for all of you guys that are like new here, go ahead, subscribe, put in the answers on the poll as well. I want to see what happens to the poll. What are we at? 8 votes, 9 votes, 10 votes? I don't know. Let me go see. Oh yeah, should I be? Yeah, 8 votes. Okay. Still think 50% of them believe that Trump's new tariff threats is going to be crazy. The reason why we're going to be seeing some of this thing. What's my take on the dollar? I don't think he wants a lower dollar, but you know what? He's not going to get everything that he wants. Let me be honest about that. There are going to be times when he is going to want a stronger dollar. He's not going to want a weaker dollar. But I believe if the dollar stays at the $100 level in terms of the dollar index, or 102 here and there, it's okay. The dollar is just like the bond yield, right? You don't want so much velocity of a move lower and higher. That's all. America makes a lot of money with a lower dollar. It helps them in their payments. It helps them in their business. Companies like Netflix, companies like Spotify, companies like Disney, a lot of them make a lot of money outside America as well. America is a service-oriented economy. It is not a production-oriented economy. When they make a lot of money through a lower dollar, these companies tend to benefit a lot more. Public market equity, right? Companies, they tend to make a lot more money through a lower dollar. A lower dollar also helps margins improve for companies. So if those things happen, you're going to start seeing equity markets go up because earning estimates are going to go up. Earnings by itself are going to go up. So the dollar necessarily could be a big bullish indicator if it stays steady. We don't want volatile movements on the dollar. That's all. Eventually the dollar will become, okay, here's the other thing, right? Keep this in mind. If these guys, like the Doge is actually cutting a lot of spending, right? If your deficit starts improving, which I do believe will start happening in a few years from now, at least the rate at which it's growing would slow. Under all of those kind of scenarios, the dollar is going to start getting more powerful because a lot of money is going to start going back into these treasury yields, is going to go back into American capital assets. So 25 and 26, 25, I'm not really sure what happens. That's too soon for me to call. 26, 27, 28, right? I think by the time Trump finishes his office and his term, and if he doesn't have a third term, the dollar could be a lot more powerful than what it is today. In price, yes, but more in terms of it being a reserve currency. I do believe that people are making a mistake trying to think that the reserve currency effect is currently going to take a hit. I think 3 years from now, you are going to see that the reserve currency of the world is still the dollar, and the dollar has become more powerful. Now, is it going to be in price more powerful? Possibly, but is the effect of people's mind? What other option do you have other than the US dollar, right? Even in the next 3 years, you're not going to get into the euro. Can Bitcoin take over the US dollar? That was the point of it, but I don't really believe that's going to be happening. Second, can gold start? Yeah, it is happening to a large extent. A lot of central banks, a lot of countries are buying gold, and that's why gold's also been higher. But do I see it as a opposing force to the dollar's power? No. Can the dollar's reserve currency be shifted in the next 10 years? No. You have no other option. You have nothing that currently even comes close to that. So, not possible in my eyes. I think the dollar will go higher and the dollar will be stronger. I love the questions and are good stuff with that. So for all of you that are like new here, go ahead, subscribe. Make sure to answer some of those polls. I want to know what we end at there. And keep your questions coming. We're going to do this again tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So pretty much every weekday and maybe even on the weekends. I mean, if there's some crazy stuff that happens, right? I was actually thinking maybe if people think that he's going to chicken out and remove the tariffs on steel and aluminum, not going to happen. That was what I was believing as well. But let's see. Let's see what actually happens. I mean, there's still time for reopen. I don't think the tariffs are going to come out that well. They're going to come off for sure. They're not coming off for sure. But I still do think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let's give it that, right? We've been putting out a lot of our shorts as well. So go ahead and look at some of those. Not a lot of them are everything about market. Some of them are just about a few things about the way we think of investing, of living life, from whatever we have learned from people that we follow. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and also subscribe. I don't know how close we are to 100. Yeah, we're at 96. Okay, we got 4 more to go. And we're going to get to 100, then 200, and then keep going higher and higher. We're not stopping. So I'm not giving up as well. That's not part of the plan. But let's see. I mean, the fact that we're doing this on a Sunday evening itself tells you that we're not stopping. We have shorts coming off. I'm going to try seeing if I can make a video about some of the investing principles that I do follow, that I have learned over time. None of the shit that I tell you guys in terms of, and I'm the first one to admit that, none of the stuff has been, when it comes to investing or in terms of principles of investing, I have learned from people. I have not, or from people when I've read books or any of that. I've not come up with new stuff on my own, right? And most people don't. Anyone that tells you that they come up with stuff on their own is either lying to you or trying to scam you. So everyone learns from everybody else's mistakes, or everyone learns from everybody else's positive wins that they've had in their life. So it's very rare for people to have some original stuff unless and until they're inventors. Especially in financial markets, most of us follow what people have done and what has happened and what works, not something where people have invented new stuff. The thing is, what differentiates people from making more and making less is the ability to do it time and again for extended periods of time. Can you do it for a few years? Yes. Can you do it for 5, 7, 10 years? Possibly. Can you do it for 20, 30, 40 years? That's where it starts getting tough. That's the tough part. So keep that in mind, right? Anyway, so we're going to call it quits on this one. I think we did it for about an hour and 10 minutes. Let's connect again post-market close at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to do that every day. Go ahead and subscribe. Let's close in the... And make sure to like as well. Do that as well. Yeah, so I say 7:30 p.m. Eastern, but I try coming in maybe 10 minutes early. Just say hi to everybody that joins in. So all of you guys that want to come in a little early, don't waste your time. Just come in. Right, we can say hi to everyone. Let me go ahead and close the poll. Let's see who wins. So what happens? Trump's new tariff wins. Some of them think about the jobs data as well. That's going to be fun. The jobless claims is what I'm looking at as well. And most people are otherwise worried about Trump's new tariff threats. Anyways, let's see what happens during the week, guys. So everyone, go ahead, watching some of those videos that we have. Hopefully we put up new stuff this week. You can watch that as well. Anyways, guys, so see you maybe post market close, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your Sunday night. And for everyone that's awake on a Monday, enjoy your working life on Monday. Bye now.